Factorio Space Age Deathworld Marathon Episode 51. We are in the middle of, in the metaphor of spinning plates for multitasking. A bunch of plates have fallen to the ground, we're trying to get them back into the air again. In Fulgora's case, we're trying to get larger plates back into the air because we previously had 2 belts of stuff going into the sort of mall bus, and we are attempting to expand that to 8 green belts, and it's not going... I mean, maybe in a sense it's going because it's all still kind of running, but it's also in another sense not going. I think we've just got to take more gears off. Yeah, we've expanded a couple more train stations. I think we're going to have more out here as well. And we've got to try and figure out how to recycle all of these into the stuff that we want. And we have a new, mostly Logibot powered science build that is not running as much as I would like. I would like to see the middle non-quality ones banging it the whole time, but we're not. Wait, did we also have... Should we maybe have productivity in... we should probably have productivity in the ones that we are not putting quality in because we can. And yeah, we're doing the speed beacon thing. We are taking off, you know, around a quarter of our productivity, of our quality, in order to get 4 times as many items through. Is that what we want? Maybe we want to drop this again because we are trying to do our science on Fulgora at, yeah, a collection of qualities that are not normal. This is one of the plans we've got for trying to deal with the amount of stuff we're rolling through, is to be recycle trashing it up to higher qualities before we're doing anything with it. Yeah, Novice also has some interesting problems of the form of one of these logistics networks ran out of bots. I'm pretty sure we've got all the walls we need. Yeah, we got another 700 walls we need. We are not sad about walls, we just don't have the bots to put them there, which is a bit of a shame. It also means we don't have the bots to put landmines around the robo-turrets if they do break through, which is, yeah, a thing we're going to have to go back and deal with at some point, but I don't want to yet. And then the other thing that we would probably go back and also do combat stuff for, but I think we're still not close to getting the Spidertrons running, is Human is the little space science turnip is doing fine. Banking all the space science, doing great things. Not actually what I wanted to look at, but congratulations, space science turnip. Yeah, kicking out all the space science at rare quality with a couple of also these beaconed quality upgrade loop things, which are cool. Mine Tech is the one I wanted to look at, which is currently stopped at Novice. We've brought it back from the space, yeah, the journey, the kind of the Shadow Planet area, where it has been doing a pretty decent job of harvesting promethium. All of these belts go underneath a whole bunch of other stuff. And where is it? Is it up here? Maybe. Where does this one actually go? Where does this underground go? Because these ones turn around. I'm not sure what these undergrounds are used for or do. Hilarious. But the promethium is making its way into where it would need to go for the science if we had the other science component. The other science component is biter eggs. So that is a thing that we could do with these guys. I think the other thing we're going to do, because I also would like to get that online, is let's go have a look at Guantanamo Biter Nursery, because I think we can... Yeah, let's just move this request to the train, because we do have spaces for biter eggs. In fact, let's have a bit more space for biter eggs, and then we can get some biter eggs, launch these up to Mindtech, get some promethium science. That all might be fine. We're pretty good for quality modules overall, I believe. Let's just not forget about that. And then also, somewhere else on Novice, yeah, it's a power plant is doing a thing. We are continuing to run down our uranium supplies. Got to mine some more uranium at some point. That's probably fine. Yeah, in here we've got no legendaries, but a pile of epics, and then somewhere we are also trash recycling all the rares up to epics and legendaries. And yeah, the thing I was wondering about is whether or not we've got these epic biter eggs, because if we, like, I think we do have, yeah, we've got all of the legendary modules we need. If we could get better red and blue chips over here, which we have on Vulcanus, we could do that. Yeah, but this is probably fine. Probably. I also wanted to check on the bio labs. These guys are doing everything they need to. We are needing blue science. I thought we would have fixed that problem, and always Gleben science, and then also Falgoran science, because we are in the middle of breaking and rearranging that. Walls, whatever. We happen to not have much Gleben science sitting around, so I think that means we pivot out of this into, okay, this railgun shooting speed is also Fulgoran science, so I guess mining productivity time is going to be what we do with that. And then, yeah, I do want plastic productivity, but we are, yeah, Gleben science. Let's also just grab some of these other techs in here. Purple science we should be super fine for, because we have done a big Vulcanus build of that. And in fact, these combinators over here, yeah, these we are actually going to want to add to this epic level Fulgoran science, because we are building that now. And so this needs to be added to the ship requests as well. But this, yeah, this combinator network says, look at all of the qualities and sciences we are expecting to get, and for all of them that we do not have less than a certain limit, ask for 8,000 of them from the ships. And then the ships have just got to put stuff on it. Yeah, the ships will eventually drop down large amounts of things like this, which is pretty cool. Here's all the blue science that I thought was fine. Here are some prod mods. Okay, let's continue to try and get this running. Oh wait, we did have a ship. Was it Cobalt Core? You were going back to Vulcanus to get these, so I reckon you should just do that and maybe have a little more time to try and pick up all the things you want, because I think you're also trying to get Belt and Undergrounds, and maybe Vulcanus has these. Let's actually check in with Vulcanus and see whether or not it has these. Yeah, so the blue science used to have a sulfur problem. We have kind of solved that sulfur problem. We also still have, yeah, we do not have anything limiting these laser turrets, so we are just making a whole pile of laser turrets, never mind. We are still doing all of the bulk inserter upgrades. We're nearly done with the bulk inserter upgrades. Wild. Yeah, and then we've got legendary pump jacks, which we are trying to push out. I wanted to check in on the blue science and make sure it was doing a thing. The blue science is indeed doing a thing. Yeah, the sulfur just gets over here with Logibots, red chips from other builds. It's fine. And I've forgotten what we were looking at on Vulcanus. Oh wait, no, it was the green belt, wasn't it? And the green belt over here, we are failing to void things. Because these chests need to not be limited, because we are, yeah, so the green belt has been stuck for a while. We're trying to do a thing with one rare foundry where, do we actually need, I think we actually could have a couple more inserters putting things in. Yeah, so we're trying to do a thing with the green belt where we are only using one foundry, and we are looking at the limits with these combinators. Oh, that was the other problem. We had the chest set to only allow like 400 belts, and then we were asking for 2,000 belts. So we're going to make belt. When belt is done, we're going to make undergrounds. When undergrounds are done, we're going to make splitters up to a limit, and then we also needed to have these chests not limited, so that when this recipe changes, we can dump out the other stuff. And yeah, I think we also, oh, if we push this at full speed, we are going to be tungsten plate limited, aren't we? Oh, well, I guess we're fine with that. I think we just want to work up to a buffer of having enough of this stuff to go around. Let's have a look at the, are you guys actually, yeah, I guess we're just doing everything with epic quality assemblers now. Sure, fine, and we've got a whole pile of them sitting around. Okay, that's great. Check in with the tungsten, which we are now, yeah, drilling pretty hard. And then also the science is backed up and not running. So I think we get around this by, yes, so LDS is a tech that will... Yeah, I guess we get rid of the railgun tech because we don't have... Okay, the damage one we're going to put back at the end because it uses the right kind of science as well as Gleben science, which probably will be around at that point. Yeah, let's do... These are all 128k. We're going to do railgun turret range. We're going to do some stuff in some order. It's going to be fine. We're going to use some Gleben science when it turns up. We're probably going to have all the ticks around the colors of science we need to push through these because we need to use up some of the science so that we can get these plates flowing again, so that these inserters have non-rare options to grab from, so that we can get the tungsten plate we need to build the green belt and undergrounds and inserters we need. I mean, we could also change some of these limits, but we're not going to. Oh well. To build the upgrades to this Falgoran kind of bus thing we need to make all of this work. I think the other thing... Yeah, we are still getting a lot of gears through here. Vastly more gears than we need. Some of these gears are just getting recycled off, like we're grabbing some of these gears, but I think also... How can... Because these two belts on the far side we have set up to, yeah, grab ore, grab the Holium ore, grab the ice cubes and solid fuel, push them into various different places that are looking for them, cover that up. Can we... I don't think this is necessary, but I think we could also put this guy back as well, just to ram everything into the possible space. We're using rare quality prod 3s for our ice cube melting, which seems quite unnecessary. Yeah, I think we want here these inserters. We also want to be grabbing the gears off. Yeah, my inventory is also currently kind of trash, because the thing that strikes me is we wanted some of these belts bypassing the grab stuff and put it in the quality up cyclers. Also, does this mean that Cobalt Core is sitting around with... Can you also look for some legendary quality modules, please? They might be helpful. How many are on the planet? Only 25. Okay, so that is also a thing we would like to deal with at some point later. Maybe we actually quality juggle some of these rares. That would be strange. And then I guess also this tungsten plate that we are moving over from the Fulgora Foundation is also, yeah, a thing. Oh wait, we were in Falgora. We wanted to put all these accumulators on Falgora because that's just one of the things we were doing, even though they might actually be useful science now. Okay, let's also turn this back to its normal schedule because we are waiting for a pile of other tungsten related things to be able to get all of the belt and inserters and things like that that we wanted. Oh well. Yeah, I think we need to take more gears off. These two belts, which are not going into sort of the reconstruction recyclers, are still giving us more gears than we need, and in fact we are continuing to kick out all of this iron plate and things like that from all of the gears we are trying to recycle. Maybe we do that later. Maybe the thing we do first is... Yeah, we used to have a thing that... I think it was up here. There may even still be a box. No, we've removed it. I also don't think we need this many recyclers on the other side. It looks like all of these recyclers... Although it's hard to tell because we're not running at the rate we want to because we don't have all the stuff we need yet. But the thing we do need is somewhere. I guess we're going to build this wherever. Yeah, we've still got legendary stuff sitting around. Why? Oh, because we're not making science at legendary. These guys can all just get in the network. We can cover up this concrete. It's kind of fine. Yeah, and then all the, yeah, this, we want to do basically this thing, but in the Logi Mall. In fact, we're going to start with all of these four, but I think we're going to do a different pattern. We've got all of the iron stuff coming out. We are upgrade trashing this. This is still going to give us a whole pile more iron than we want, but also it's not necessarily going to give us the iron from the gears. It's going to give us iron from anywhere, and we've also got, yeah, other sources of pulling iron out of the network. So I guess we're going to have to work through this buffer. We're going to have to work through the other buffers. We need to do this for steel, but also... should we do that for steel? No, we're not going to. yeah, we are still not actually running science at the rate that we need. I think the other thing we want that we should have realized earlier but have not is we're going to need more of these processes at common. But also, yeah, because we're getting like 20% quality out, which means if we want for every uncommon one we're going to have like 4 commons, which means we should probably have 4 of these running at common if we expect to have any uncommon stuff running consistently. And the thing is, we kind of want uncommon running somewhat consistently and maybe also epic running somewhat consistently. So we're going to have to do... We do have some flow control at the end of the section, which means that if all of this backs up, we don't send the trains out again until this section empties. So I'm not concerned about Fulgora backing up and deadlocking. I am just concerned about, I am concerned about it sort of turning off and on again and not flowing through consistently. Can we get... Yeah, and I've got a whole pile of stuff in my inventory. Yeah, these guys won't be powered, so we can set to use gears of any quality or specifically normal quality. I think it's going to be specifically normal quality because we have a lot of these gears that we still just would prefer to junk. I mean, so we're going to be putting iron here. We are going to be already junking some amount of iron. And the thing is... Yeah, I'm wondering whether... Because there are several ways in which we are rating how much stuff we're taking off this belt. There's... How many of these 8 belts, and currently it was 6 for gears, but now it's more than that. How many of those we are taking off? So, for example, the blue chips, we've got 1, 2, 3 belts that we are exposing to inserters that are trying to grab blue chips for recycling. So maybe 3/8 of our blue chips are getting taken off to be recycled, and then 2/8 of our red chips. And gears are now being attempted to evacuate from every belt, although some of them only at some qualities. But also it strikes me that these inserters, yeah, these 4 gear inserters here are still letting a whole lot of... Let's try manual stack size of 1, because I suspect that... Which one was it? It was this one. Wait, no, those have different filters. I suspect that the way that these items are falling out of the recyclers means... Yeah, could mean that we're losing grabbing time because the inserters are looking for the second and third thing that will never exist because, yeah. So let's, yeah, have like 2 of these, recycle any of the gears we get off this, but there isn't space on this belt to evacuate this iron, so it's still not really going to work. But, yeah, maybe we're taking stuff off this belt. Yeah, we kind of wanted all of these to be flowing at once, and they are not, because we are still not taking as much stuff out as we needed. Oh, this belt here no longer does anything. And also, we were attempting to make stone of different qualities, and there kind of isn't anywhere that would fit now, because the only stone is over here. But we were putting some amount of rare stone in the network so we could do the same thing with uncommon, I guess. And we've also got solid fuel in the network, so these 2 guys, whatever, this one was the rare one. Yeah, we are attempting to mostly reconstruct most of the mall patterns and most of the... okay, some of the science patterns we are blasting, but we're trying to leave most of the base as it is to be minimally disruptive. What were we doing with... Oh, was this stuff going into the lightning collectors? Yeah, the lightning rods. Do I have anything you want? Maybe. the lightning rods that we are making to make the big lightning collectors, which we've got, which, you know, fancy and new, and we've got a couple of legendary ones around the place. Don't we have a legendary one down here? Yeah, Holium solution we are running down. This guy was already quality upgrading. Maybe we don't want to quality upgrade this, because we are expecting... Yeah, we are trying to get all qualities of Holium at the moment, but we are waiting on plastic, which is a thing we were trying to do by... Yeah, we're getting it from... So a quarter of the red chips we are pulling out, also only a... Oh no, 3/8 of the LDS. Maybe that's going to do it. Yeah, we need to be recycling all of these things out, because these boxes are going to fill up. Okay, let's get the rest of the common versions of these things in place as well. We're going to need... not there, maybe here? We are still not running everything. We've got a bunch of this stuff built, which is great. We've got... Wait, we've got epic 3s in here? Why don't we... Did we not bring any legendary 3s? We did bring legendary speed 3s. Okay. Yeah, queue this. Put it in these beacons, because the legendaries will give us more speed and not an equality hit. I think maybe especially for the rares... Maybe we're going to pull this down to legendary 2s, but we didn't have those here. So, yeah, the thing we still need to do to make all of this work is to upgrade our trashing function so that we're not just pushing out 1 or 2 of these belts. And in fact, is it this upgrade planner? Can we get all of this stuff through the middle to green belt, please? Because we don't want to be... Yeah, when we're not trashing as much stuff, everything builds up and then the trains stop and then some of this stops. I think we're still... Yeah, we still got a lot of gears. I think I'm seeing some batteries in there as well, which makes me think that... yeah, let's grab this. Use filters for any kind of batteries, because batteries are still the thing that we are sad about not having enough of. And then just grab all of... Oh, we're also putting gears... There are several places where we're putting gears in the logistics network, and also coils, and we currently aren't doing that either. Interesting. Yeah, because these... Maybe this steam could also move? Maybe this steam, because we've got train stations out this side now, right? Could we also just have... Where's a block of concrete that I can copy? Could we make this section of the base less gross, please? I don't want, like, oil ocean underneath where I'm trying to do stuff. Thanks. And then, this is pipe. Okay, if we run some of the steam out this way, then we should be able to get, yeah, maybe even like here. Yeah, we can put some steam tanks over here. We're now connecting to the steam on the other side, which means we can just blast this entire collection of stuff. These pipes through the middle, we no longer need. Standing on the train tracks, because we got the mech suit, that's fine. Yeah, because I think we are going to have to figure out how to reorganize this. In fact, this guy could... Yeah, other ways we can get rid of slightly more gears, although we still have the problem that... when everything else is flowing, we don't have space on these other belts for this guy to be able to vent all our stuff. Never mind. Where was that upgrade planner? I wanted... Yeah, this whole section to be upgraded. I don't think we spin off... Maybe these... So what are we... We're making lamps here as well, just from the stuff on... Oh, because we've got the coils and plates here as well. You guys have... is it you guys that are holding those coils? Okay, whatever. Yeah, because the thing I'm thinking is, rather than trying to spin down to 2 belts here, actually it was the other part we were going to start on the other end, wasn't it? If we had a 3rd belt of stuff through, say, here, that only just fits, then we could get through some section of this mall, and then prioritize everything back onto these 2 belts. Not like that. Yeah, because I don't think I want to have 1 belt of stuff running out into the trashes and then... Yeah, this whole... Oh wait, one of these is an output belt. This one here is actually the drone frame's output rather than input. But I think this just wants to be, first of all, 2 belts. So I think we run this through here. And then also we want this upgrade planner that maybe I should put on the toolbar somewhere. I'm sure that's going to be fine. To upgrade, yeah, all of this stuff to the green belt so we can be moving things through. All of this as well. Oh, Cobalt Core. You didn't get the splitters. Go back to Vulcanus and just keep doing that until we get the splitters. Oh, we also didn't drop all of the accumulators. Either that or we've got... Did we get more accumulators when we swung through Falgora? I think we might have. I think we probably don't want that request group at all. Whatever, yeah, there's a lot of old request group stuff sitting out here that, you know, we're going to move past and not think about. Because we also don't have the rest of... And then what? Oh yeah, there's still blue chips on this line, isn't there? We're upgrading a bunch of blue chips over here. There's actually ice cubes and solid fuel and a bunch of stuff like that. But I think this, yeah, maybe here we're gonna have to also do some grabbing. Is there anything that needs blue chips down this way? No, oh wait, do rocket turrets need blue chips? Yes, but they also need carbon fiber, and we're doing that on Gleba instead. So all these guys can go away, making things simpler. I like that. Yeah, I was talking myself into, say, over here, having something that's also grabbing blue chips of any quality. And just put them in the logistics network. And then the same thing here. Let's run... Okay, we can't run... There's stuff in the way here, but we could run this output belt. Yeah, we're putting a whole bunch of stuff in the logistics network. Again, never mind. Okay. Because the plan here is... Where can we fit this through? Do we need all of... I'm talking myself out of needing all of these guys. Can we jump... We cannot jump a blue belt over all of that. We would need the green undergrounds, which we do have some of, just not a whole lot here, to get these guys through. Yeah, this is just enough space. And we are just going to junk everything that's still on this belt. And then also just insist that we want to do a better job of grabbing things off this belt. Which is going to be, you know, the next of these shoes. But these are going into the... Do I need so many module ones here? I think we're going to resign ourselves to not having quite so many of these either. Yeah, this is what we are going to drop into the Spiral of Doom. Yeah, if you're here, then we can have this one here, this one here, we are no longer getting the coils out, and we were trashing some of the coils, but we can do that like anywhere else as well. And then we were putting, this copper was just already going somewhere else, so I think that's probably fine. So I'm talking myself out of needing these. Maybe we, if this is iron and copper coils, could we just put this on, say, a different belt here? Because why not? And then we don't need these parts, and then we don't need this guy. Simplifying all of the stuff. Okay, so now if we can... One of the issues we're going to have with this is that there are a lot of products that when we trash them give us more stuff out than the one item on the belt. So steel is actually an example where we've got less stuff, but yeah, the red circuits, the green or the blue circuits, the LDS are all going to be putting more things on the belt. And yeah, we also specifically don't want to be, yeah, this attempt to push things into multiple places is not gonna work, because this belt is going to block up the things on the inside. Yeah, we've got to figure out how to get this stuff on the inside of this belt if we are going to push it in here. Could we get some more? I think maybe we could also get some more recyclers in here. The other thing I'm thinking now is if we are throwing red chips in here at all, I think we do want a couple of little salvation options for the right kind of materials, specifically plastic. I think if we do find any plastic in the Spiral of Doom, we offer that plastic redemption. However, I don't think we've got any batteries down here, or at least we could be pulling batteries off in other places. The thing I think we still need to do is, I mean, could we also come up with a beacon plan? Are we limited by... Some of these were limited by inserter speed. I think if we beacon this harder, that will be great, but we will still be limited by inserter speed, so maybe that's what we do? This is all still flowing, but we are not getting the 8 green belts through Fulgora that we said we wanted. Maybe some of this will get better when we upgrade these splitters, but also just probably not. It looks like we are still not taking enough things off the belt. In fact, this is probably a situation where we've got all these rare long-handed inserters. I think we could probably go to legendary long-handed inserters, and that would get a lot done, because we still want to be taking all these things off the belt if we can. Actually, did we also... These are also... Some of these are set to stack size 1 and others aren't, and I think they probably all do want to be, so that they're not hanging around waiting to grab the thing of the next quality. Yeah, we're going to do that later. We do have some kind of flow through here with this kind of... Yeah, we're going to keep this bit detecting whether or not everything is jammed up. We're going to try and pull off all of the red chips, blue chips, LDS. This is less about, or at least the initial idea was less about, hey, all this stuff is valuable, although to be honest, all this stuff is valuable. I think we probably want to trash process this up to legendary. It was more about, let's make sure that everything we're just kicking through this belt into the trash loop is stuff that results in less stuff when it's trashed, rather than, yeah, this situation where we've got belts creating, I've forgotten what yeah, rather than the situation, we don't want to be trashing stuff into an increased amount of stuff. We would want to be trashing stuff into a reduced amount of stuff so that it can. Why are we not even running here? Because it's sideloading here. Because we said we were going to make all of this faster, and then didn't. No blue chips here. I guess, are we turning these all into electromags up here? I don't know, whatever. Let's figure out where we're going to do some legendary long-handed inserter upgrades, because we're also just putting them in the network here, which is pretty good. Down here somewhere there was already an upgrade pattern for rare, so other than the fact that we don't have these assembler qualities, I think more or less the same thing. Is it just here then? Are we just going to take... Are we just going to go output priority right, no filter, just push everything out there if you can, and then somewhere over here, this I guess can move, and then also take this filter off but go output priority left. Because now we've got another place that we can have another belt balanced thing. We're going to need to upgrade that as well. And then this might be the third belt of stuff that we're trying to push in here, which we actually wanted to do this way round. And then I guess we also want to grab any batteries we find on this belt. I think I'm going to have an even worse batteries plan, because it does look like... Oh, then we've still got gears here as well. Maybe not, actually. Maybe we just get all these upgrades in. Yeah, the even worse batteries plan, because it does feel like, and I haven't actually checked in with this, that the thing we are short of is batteries. Yeah, I've got all this stuff in my... Let's just get all of this stuff out of here again. Bot's gonna have fun with that, it's probably fine. Cobalt core is around. Could we have... I don't think we need many of these, but I think we're gonna get them. And then, yeah, the speed modules were what we wanted. Was there anything... Cryoplants. Cryoplants was actually the thing I wanted. That was going to be the terrible batteries plan. And then do you just... I think you just continue with your stuff. I think we are resigned to not getting the splitters for a bit and dealing with it. Yeah, as these guys are not actually backing up too much, which is cool because it means that all of these guys can operate. We are still, yeah, filling these chests with... Okay, we're actually halfway through filling one of those chests. Never mind. The batteries plan to get more batteries is straight up going to be, hey, we're already making this acid. We're making this acid so we can upgrade trash blue chips, which we're actually not doing anymore because this whole belt no longer goes anywhere. But other than that detail, don't worry about it. The point is, we are in fact making acid, which means I think we're going to just make batteries here as well. I think that's going to be the play, and that's why we got the chem plants. And then hopefully this... Oh, because we're taking... Are we taking any quality of... No, specifically uncommons. Okay, whatever, wild. Yeah, let's... Because I'm pretty sure that if we got the... was it with a rare cryoplants we dropped down? Rare cryoplants. I'm pretty sure in these... I guess we're just going to also put some landfill somewhere. Yeah, get rid of all of this stuff. These cryoplants, we cannot do the cracking, but we can do the sulfur and the acid and the batteries. So I think that means chemical plant normal quality. That's also not a thing we want. Yeah, I think we're going to reorganize this area into this acid pipe. This isn't too much worse than it previously was, is it? This is fine. But why are we getting flashing up here? Because I thought this was a different... This is a different network that still has construction bots, but does this mean this chest has run out of walls? This chest has run out of walls. Okay, multiple reasons why we need to go back. But we're not going to do that yet. Yeah, we're going to figure out how to make all of this still work. This is kind of gross. I guess we've also run out of foundation. Cobalt Core is probably around somewhere. We can check in with that, but also our ratios are kind of terrible. Yeah, we're making what, like 160 gas. We're trying to use a lot more of that than that for sulfur, and then we're making 1,000 a second sulfuric acid on Fulgora of all places to make more batteries, of which we are not using nearly that many. We could speed this again, I guess. We do have the epic beacon on this thing, but also let's just punch out a bunch of batteries and not really care about it. Let's go figure out why this foundation is not running. So hopefully that improves the science, but also whatever. This is not running because we don't have the stone. Wild. That was not what I was expecting, but that is also a thing we can solve over here, because we are taking uncommon quality stone and putting it in a box. We can also just do the same thing but with normal quality stone, put it in a box, which means that these guys will fire slightly less, and from the looks of it we can get rid of a bunch of this stuff as long as it's stable and just have, yes, slightly fewer of these things still evacuating the stone. And we're still not running these things at full speed. We would like to be punching in more materials, but I think it's mostly pretty fine. I think maybe we even call this, yeah, I think we call this done for now. Go back to novice. Oh, there was also these upgrade patterns. We wanted to make sure that if we had any of this stuff, we may as well be upgrading any surplus to legendary. Yeah, I guess we slapped those in as well. I think this batteries thing was a good call. We do seem to be collecting all the batteries that we are making more or less as fast as we're making them. Maybe we could have... It would be super easy to have another one of these, say, over here, right? Wild realization. We're actually train limited now. Maybe we're mining limited, but the plan for how this train station was supposed to work is we were supposed to have the other trains just hanging around here, and instead they're at the mining location. So maybe we go and upgrade the mining. Yeah, we want trains to be pushing everything in as fast as we can at this point, because we are, I mean, it's gross, but we are kind of voiding the stuff we want to be. Wait, no, that's not actually the problem at all. The problem is that because we have more qualities of stuff in these wagons, the limits on whether or not these trains are full no longer apply. So I think we've got to pull, if we pull this down to say 300, and grab the schedule and then apply it to the other train schedules, it turns out that you were just going to the other place, I guess, whatever. Yeah, we were hitting the time past thing, and actually we don't actually, I don't think we actually care about that limit. I think what we can do is just look at this thing and see how long. So 30 seconds is more or less enough for these guys to all fill. I think we just do the 30 seconds and get rid of the item check. Other train issues is that we are no longer checking that the other higher qualities are also equal to 0. So the circuit we want to add another item. We actually want another 2 item counts. One for the epic scrap, which we now also have, and another for the legendary scrap, which can turn up. We want these to be 0 before we head back as well. Let's line these up in a nice way. Okay, so 30 seconds is as long as it takes for the inserters to put things on the train, which is cool. The steam, if we run out of steam at an outpost, we want to come back to collect more steam to make sure the outposts are powered, and then we want to check that every kind of, yeah, give me this, yeah. We want to check that every kind of scrap is equal to 0 and we have more. Yeah, this is the thing we want. Except you want to go to here. So we can paste this on the other trains. I think one of these other batteries wants to be on uncommon quality batteries. We still want the regular quality batteries for the drone frames, even though we're making them on Novice as well. But all it takes is a bunch of uncommon quality iron and copper, which we definitely have sitting around. Yeah, you get out of there, it's fine. In order to get a whole pile of batteries at better quality. So I think that's going to make things a little bit better. And we are banking rare batteries, which means at the rare level, this is all somewhat doing what it could. These guys are input bottlenecked. We're going to move this around and just make sure that everyone can grab whatever stuff they got, because we do want to be trashing this out. I wonder if that means... I'm seeing red chips here. I think that means that some of the other some of the other chests we wanted to be voiding are no longer being voided. And then, so batteries, we are short of green chips and also Holium, but green chips, which is super interesting because that's one of the things we were pretty sure we needed to also make. Yeah, we have vast stockpiles of uncommon green chips that we may as well just get processing. Okay, let's figure out where we can do that. Here's a space where we are kind of processing out a bunch of old stuff. How do you get? I don't think you do get, do you? So let's just fix that as well. I think this is going to do what we want, but also maybe let's have some green chip requests. Yes, some of the coils requests in here as well, although I think we actually want to do 2 of these things and then have one just have plates and the other just have coils, so we can also circuit condition these guys based on whether or not we have a surplus of that resource. Maybe let's say 600, because we want enough of the stuff to be able to work with. And then this one is also going to be the uncommon coils, great, whatever. Sure, we want to be requesting in, say, 400 uncommon green chips, and then we are dumping them in the quality recycler. Are we going to be running this a lot? I guess we've got all these things. It's also kind of a voiding process, but whatever. Let's power this on and see if it does everything we need it to. Hopefully it should. And then, yeah, anything that is rare or better just ends up in this box, which apparently we need for a pile of stuff. And then I just saw the Logibot go to the left. We're still making blue chips, aren't we? Yeah, this is a logistic box, so we can request all the rare parts to go somewhere else as well. But also, I guess over here, this thing where we are making blue chips. Oh, is this one? This is where we're requesting stuff. Yeah, we don't want to be making the uncommon stuff. In fact, you're not even running. You can go to blue chips epic. Maybe we want to be trashing and reproducing a bunch of this stuff, but I think we also don't want to be losing all of our rare green chips when we're trying to do science with them. Batteries are, yeah, still building up the rare stuff, still requesting every other type, that's okay. We are short of... we can't be short of acid. Item ingredient shortage. Oh, because you had the wrong item in your hands. Okay, that's fine. We are continuing. We've got batteries of different kinds. We're requesting copper. Yeah, the other thing we still need to be voiding, and I guess we want to be doing this from the network, is, yeah, these boxes are now full. Yeah, which is cool. I guess we've got a surplus of LDS again, but also we want to be voiding them. Yeah, I've had a bit of a think about this, going backwards and forwards on this next part a couple of times. I'm not really sure that doing the science at quality is that much of a good idea. Yes, we've got more resources, but we're also processing a bunch of things at common quality that we are, only getting nearly 20% out, and then having to upgrade these into other things that will do more work. I think we're still going to do it, but the conclusion I'm having is down here, this Holium thing, yes, we're talking about the LDS venting, we're getting around to that. I don't think we want to be doing this Holium loop as just recycling Holium plates anymore. I mean, this was always kind of bad, but especially as we now have all of these other processes to be quality upgrading Holium. Oh, we don't actually have within another normal version of this over here as well. Yeah, I think we want to use these electromagnet plants and these superconductors as the thing that upgrades the Holium plates. Didn't we also have... We did bring better quality modules, so I think that's the first thing we do here. Yeah, let's just get rid of... Mouse wheel, please. Get rid of... What is this recycled? Is it always just Holium? It's sometimes also steel. Is it sometimes steel? We've already got steel recycling elsewhere, don't we? So I reckon we get rid of all of this stuff, and also this stuff as well. And, actually not this box. We just do more of this, putting this stuff in these boxes. And then also, yeah, these quality modules that we had that we want, definitely do that. Do we have some better foundries here? Or do we just have better foundries on ships floating around? Because we definitely had some epic foundries, not that. That's a queue we've set up, which is probably fine, yeah. We're still sawtoothing a bit, probably Gleben Science, whatever. Cobalt Core currently in... Yeah, we do have better foundries. Yeah, so that's one of the Holium loops that we can make better, that we can then use these guys to upgrade the Holium instead, except some of these are also short of copper, some of them are plastic limited, batteries are probably fine. There is another Holium process over here as well that is, yeah, very much set up for this belt-fed mechanism, and so I don't think we want to do any of this anymore. Yeah, let's get rid of all of these parts. These recyclers are just Holium stuff. We can put it in storage. Don't cut the water pipe. Get rid of all of these bits. And I think we actually... I mean, because this Holium pipe is already connected to the other system. I think we get rid of this guy. Yes, we've got... Okay, so maybe we are doing some Holium plate recycling, although I would rather not be doing that. Where did... Okay, whatever. You just live in there. Yeah, I think... We're not making bot lives easier very much, but I think a thing we could do to make bot lives better is, given that all of these are still just... Yeah, here's the Holium setup we have. Could we put it over here? Yeah, things that I'm doing more now that were not features I really use. We can just put the condition on the building itself. Yeah, Holium solution less, actually greater than like 6,000. Greater than 6,000. Thank you. Yeah, you've got the thing. Okay, so we're just going to make some Holium plates, put them in here, use these guys as the upgrade mechanism, which means we also want more of these things. So let's talk about the LDS upgrade that we're doing then. Yeah, because all of this is mostly running and fine. Yeah, so we've got to void LDS, we've got to void the blue chips and red chips that are also just banking up and making this thing a nightmare. We've also got a pile of green chips on this. Green chips were one of the things that we were kind of thinking about being short of, so let's also just do this in the laziest way possible and just go use filtered green chips of any quality. The problem of doing, yeah, the same problem we're always going to have with trying to do this stuff with inequality is, I guess here, where are we getting power from, whatever, is we now have to juggle these other qualities of things. But yeah, these boxes, we want to be taking this stuff out and doing something with it. And because we just talked about being Holium limited and then plastic limited and copper limited, we're just going to trash it. But I'm thinking also the conclusion is maybe we want to put the yellow science back, but in kind of a weird way. All these guys, I thought some of these were upgraded assembling machines. Rare. We aren't making any of the epics here, oh well. But I think we, yeah, upgrade all these guys. And then what I want to do is, first of all, put the yellow science back, and it's going to go here. We're going to get the productivity modules. Yellow science is easier to make, oh, come on. Okay, now we've got the thing, sure. Yellow science is easier to push into orbit than just the flying robot frames, and we're trying to get rid of the blue circuits and the LDS, so we're gonna, seems like a good idea. Here and here. Yeah, we also need more green chips, so some of these blue chips we want to be trashing. And then also, I wanted to figure out whether or not there was space, and it really doesn't look like there's a whole lot of space. But also, these are rares, and we don't really have the rares because we're trying to upgrade everything to legendary, but we are also not upgrading everything to legendary because we... Iron plates at normal, gears at uncommon, gears at... Oh yeah, these were things that we were putting in the logistics network that we are no longer putting in the... We are. Okay, whatever, moving on. We're not going to worry about that. Yeah, finish doing this thing. We want to be able to... Where are we going to find space to do this? I guess right here? We want space to be able to void both blue chips at normal quality and also LDS at normal quality. Let's just, have a decent number of both of these things. But we also only want to be doing this if there's a surplus, because, yeah, we don't want to be trashing all of it. That's not what we wanted. We wanted this thing if there is a surplus of low-density structure. Presumably Novice is fine. 2,400 is a lot of... Yeah, that's vastly more low-density structure than we need in the logistics network, so we're just going to go, yeah, something like that. So why are you not... Oh, because we said use filters and then didn't give you a filter. Cool, fine. And then the same thing with blue chips, but also for a different limit. If blue chips is greater than, say, 400, because I don't think these are... I don't think we're exporting any of these things anywhere, are we? We're going to change our mind about this again. It's cool. So we want to use some of this for yellow science because it's an easier thing to do with these drone frames, but we also want to trash a bunch of these blue chips to get, for example, the green chips we need to make the rest of this work, and we also need to trash a bunch of this LDS to get the copper and plastic we wanted. Hey, you know how... a good way to commit resources to two different paths? We're going to use a splitter. So we're going to have yellow science here. How much foundation do we have to play with? I wasn't planning on doing this with foundation. Only 140-ish foundation. That's a little bit of a shame. I guess we try and use this area, but also... Yeah, this... If we have 4 blocks this size... That's pretty much all the foundation we have to work with. Cool, what is foundation waiting on? And where is foundation? How have I lost it? Again, it's just up here, isn't it? We're just waiting on processing speed. Cool. Oh wait, I've got foundation. Yeah, there we go. And then, yeah, this stuff down here, we are just going to trash. So let's find ourselves... It's not going to be avoiding... quality trash. I think, yeah, it's not going to be avoiding trash. I think it's still going to be a quality themed trash. But also these are not quality modules we necessarily need to upgrade. Where would the next 2 train stations go? Yeah, all those trains moving at the same time suggests that we are still... It's the circuit conditioning over here freeing up because we haven't got the trash processing at the rate we want yet. The idea here is there are a number of things that are coming out of all of these products that we would like in the network, and then we could either try and circuit condition all of these and juggle them, or what we could do is have a different... Yeah, do this the other way around, and specifically do an item and a quality level for... Oh, we're not powered, we can do several of these things. We're also kind of in the way, but not really. Yeah, if we do green chips, we want green chips at a couple of qualities. Do we want the epics as well? I don't know. Maybe we can do this later. We know we need plastic. And then plastic at some other quality. We also know we need copper for various processes, and we've seen that we have been short of it. And then the question is, can we do... Yeah, I think we just go through here like so. Add... where are some request chests? Are we going to need more logistic bots? I think we're probably going to need more logistic bots as well, because we are consistently running large numbers of these things. Okay, so do we... Oh yeah, we need to plug in... We need to plug in this quality upgrade because we are currently processing a bunch of Holium and not actually do anything about it. Are you in orbit now? You are. We want the rare foundries. I guess... I think we're also going to drop all of these quality modules and do an upgrading... Oh, and also the splitters. Yeah, we want the splitters. I think we're going to do an upgrading loop here. Also, all the foundation stuff. I think we're going to do an upgrading loop here to get to legendary and better quality, but I don't know if we do that yet. I don't think there's anything else we want coming out of this. Yeah, we wanted... Oh yeah, those rare foundries. Are those rare foundries, have they turned up yet? They... Rare? Epic. Epicify both these guys. And... Okay, so we are... Oh no, that's right. We're gonna use this loop to do that. We need to set up all these request chests. The Holium plate upgrade process, but maybe we do that just a little. I think if we go here, but then also... Oh yeah, we don't have the legendary modules because we put them in other things. You also can do a thing, whatever. Okay, I think if we go here, and then... use filters for only Holium plate, but then also only if we have more than, say, a decent chunk. How much does this cost to send to orbit? 1,000? Okay, let's go do... Okay, we've also got that inequality around the wrong way. That would be super bad. Yeah, we're going to keep a bunch of this, but we are going to attempt to recycle out some of this. Let's also make this guy a storage chest so it's used preferentially. So yeah, so if we've got a surplus of this stuff, we're kicking this Holium out. We are mostly attempting to... Actually, I think we need to go one inserter on each foundry. And then, so we're getting 24% Holium out of this thing. I think we should also find the other chests with the Holium in and storage chest these things, just so that we make sure we are... Is that true? Depends how many stacks are in these things. Yeah, I want to make sure that some of these are used preferentially to hollow out the chests, but also this is still a problem. Yeah, things we are not really gonna worry about. Cool. Yeah, this is what we want to see. We are counting the number of items on these belts. And so if these two belts ever back up, we will get in total, more than 16 items because things are stacked, but it will at least be 16. So I think these inserters are only going to run if A is greater than 15. In other words, if these two pieces of belt back up, then we run this loop, which is just going to void, which we don't care about at all, and then... Yeah, whatever, that's fine. And otherwise we are going to run this loop, which is going to attempt to quality trash a pile of stuff. I don't actually think that's enough trashing. And yeah, we're also getting all of these... We're also still short on copper because we're not actually voiding any of the LDS yet. Okay, I guess we neglect Novice even further, and... you know what we shouldn't be neglecting on Novice? We've got a whole pile of biter eggs that in several cases might not have that much time left on them. 3 minutes? 20 stacks of 47 seconds? Okay, so I guess these ones we don't want to move because they're going to explode. That's a bit of a shame. These ones I think we kick out of storage, and then we also don't request any more. And then I think... Mine Tech, which is one of the reasons why we wanted to go back. I mean, we're already at Novice. We can afford to request these biter eggs. And so biter eggs rare from Novice. What is the launch limit of these things? Not enough to fill one rocket, available 136. Yeah, we want to pull this down to say 130. Just make no, not that one. Yeah, numbers are difficult. Make smaller launches. Just make sure you get these into the air, and then we can start making this promethium science. We are probably still, yeah, whatever. I am not convinced that we are actually processing these things out faster than we are pulling them off the network, but never mind. I mean, if we turn this plastic and this copper into the stuff we want, then... Oh, these guys are firing because the stacked belts are sometimes doing anything. Okay, whatever. Yeah, we've got a pile of green chips now, or we've got way too many green chips. We did have... Oh yeah, we wanted to do the quality module upgrade because we're still asking for better quality modules as well. Okay, legendary quality 3 module upgrade on Fulgora as well, because we've got a couple of these quality modules we want to be bashing in. Yeah, I think we, are we making science? We are. I mean, we've got some science happening. I'm pretty sure we are still not making science at the rate we need to, but we are still also not processing the stuff off the belt at the rate we need to either. But are we even emptying out these boxes that we need to? We are not doing that either. Are we at least running some of these trashing processes? We are. So, I mean, we're reasonably happy that something here is happening. Are we getting... Oh yeah, we're not getting the drone frames out that we want because batteries, but that's fine. We are making yellow science. Did we actually put the... I have a feeling that we blasted... Oh no, we've still got the yellow science stuff here, so that whole process is going to run. Yeah, I think we go back to orbit. Try and figure out where these barrels went. Actually, all these guys, I did want better quality grabbers. In fact, I am tempted to recycle all of these grabbers just because. Oh yeah, this has definitely never worked at all, is it? These guys don't want the batteries and steel. This yellow science wants to be able to see... okay, so this guy here is not going to work at all. You get to disappear. We want to be able to grab the drone frames as they're going past. This guy is also not going to work, never mind. Yeah, no big deal. Fulgora kind of broken anyway, somewhat running. We've got some inserter upgrades that we're eventually going to get around to. We are... I mean, when it's running, things are running tautological statements. I think it's just going to... Yeah, it's still going to be phasing through this, backing up while all these belts jam, followed by this circuit turning off the trains and letting everything drain. But I think we're also going to, yeah... worry about getting more barrels over from Aquilo, but I think we just leave this here. I think Cobalt Core is probably still in orbit. And yeah, Cobalt Core, we're going to take Cobalt Core, we're going to go back to Novice, we're going to actually fix Novice. Is that true? We're going to address some of my Novice's minor problems. Yeah, we need to be trashing the uncommon LDS as well as the concrete. We are getting through the blue chips though, which is super nice. I think what we can do here, for lack of any better idea, is what if this one was blue chips at uncommon and this one was blue chips at rare, and then these guys were also checking whether there are their uncommon and rare counterparts were, yeah, exhibited the same surplus. And so now if we are blasting the blue chips out, we can do the same thing for the upgraded kinds, and maybe this is, yeah, I mean, this is all just going to give us the same collection of things at different qualities, and we're probably fine with it. And then we just need to worry about upgrading, yeah, dropping the same kind of LDS thing in here as well, and maybe we just do this here in the same way instead of, oh yeah, you guys actually don't matter, because we're not going to worry about getting things on the wrong side of the belt because we are past the science build. This is all just trash. Wait, here are the barrels. We never actually set up this request to request the barrels. That's why... Oh, we cut the request because we had enough. Okay. In that case, that answers my questions of where the barrels went and why I couldn't find the empty barrels, is because there were no empty barrels because they were still full. And this also means that we are back online with our foundry... Well, yeah, our... foundation production, which means all of these things can get filled, which is nice. Yeah, I don't think this is going to properly unblock. The other thing we're going to do is the way we're going to void the concrete. I saw a nice trick that I liked, or at least someone told me about a nice trick that I liked. We are going to make hazard concrete because it's super fast, and when you trash it, you get back the worst concrete, but also this means if we make hazard concrete and then we trash it again, we can do this like here, not like that, not like that either, yeah, like this. Wait, a legendary recycler? We don't want to be using a legendary recycler. Why were we using... Oh, we've got an LDS upgrade loop. I don't think we actually need an LDS upgrade loop either. We are now venting all the kinds of LDS that we had. Congratulations, I guess. This was also LDS trashing function? Okay, sure. In that case, I don't think we need either of these legendary recyclers here, and I just want not a normal quality, an epic, not really. Yeah, rare. Rare is the kind of recycler we're going to use for our concrete trashing. Yeah, 56,000 concrete. 56,000 concrete is a little more concrete than we need, so we would like to be voiding this in a little loop, which is doing everything it needs to, going nice and fast. Yeah, we're going to request 600, we're going to get some of it back from this recycler, it's all fine. Let's also do that for some other qualities. We should now have on the way up the last shipments of things that Mindtech needs. Did we lose some? Why are we looking like we've got a different pattern of foundation on either side? Was that something that was destroyed that we didn't put back, or something that was silly? Whatever. Yeah, this crusher was destroyed. We put it back. It needs some legendary modules. This tank also somehow got destroyed. Put that back. We don't really need it. We have enough space, but whatever. And then, yeah, we took off this engine, which we shall put back so we can go at the speed we want to again. And yeah, ready to go and collect some more promethium. I would like to be able to get some more eggs up here and get a decent amount of promethium science out of this, but we also just need to be harvesting more biter eggs for that. I don't think that's going to happen. But we do want to circuit condition this thing's schedule a bit. And the first idea was play around with these interrupts to bounce the ship backwards and forwards between, say, 80 and 120 kilometers towards, or 1,000 kilometers, towards the shattered planet where the collection is good, but I don't think we're doing that. We've got some pumps here, and what we're going to do instead is come down here, get rid of the solar panel. Oh well, never mind. I realized that we actually needed to probably have queued the pumps, and we've got pumps with quality because these guys are kicking out more than one pump, more than a normal pump can just push through, but we also now need to put in the combinators that, and then bring the signal down here because we need to get, yeah, are you read moving to read moving from? Yeah, we're already doing something like this somehow, apparently. But we did have, yeah, we sent up a couple of combinators. I was playing around with the patterns I liked for this and came up with something that didn't seem too tricky. Where can we fit these in is going to be the first question. I think we go here. Actually, this one wanted to be, the second one wanted to be arithmetic, yeah. The first version of this I was playing around with while I was trying to get anything to work had like 6 combinators in it, and then we've managed to shave it down to like 2 or 3. We want to go green from here into this decider combinator, yes, and this decider combinator wants to say if the, yeah, the simpler version with only a couple of combinators in it, I think we can probably just set up now rather than doing it in between. And the way we're going to do this is, yeah, if the shattered planet is greater than 0, if we are going to or from the shattered planet, output T. What is T, you ask? Where are these combinators? Yeah, we want a red wire here and a green wire other way around. We've got to hook the, they don't want to be on the same inputs, they want the output of the arithmetic combinator. Yeah, so, okay, I was thinking we had these around the right way so we could see how these things are looped. But yeah, this one wants to say input T plus 1, output T. So when we're not heading towards or away from the shattered planet, this T equals 1 will just bounce around between, yeah, it will be fed into this other decider combinator. It won't pass the value back, and so we're not doing any summation. But if we do, say, if we change this to, say, novice, if novice is greater than 0, we are now counting the number of ticks we have been either approaching or at or leaving novice, because that's what, you know, greater than 0 means. We're going to set this to shattered planet, and also because this decider combinator is no longer passing the T signal along, this resets back to 1. So we have a clock that will count how long it takes us, count how long we have either been approaching or retreating from the shattered planet or at the shattered planet, but we're not doing that. And so now we can take this signal from the output of this combinator and figure out how we're going to, where it actually reaches. Okay, can we have, we're going to use this belt here because we are going to need to jump the output of this arithmetic combinator down to where these tanks are. And who would have thought that the most complicated part of this was getting the signal down here? So this guy, the signals that this is now seeing is, we're looking at what's in the tank and we're looking at this counter, and we want to send the green light pumping signal with output 1. This thing is going to check that counter exactly, yeah. Pump when we are green, and then the conditions we're going to use on this filter are either going to be, we're going to need 3 conditions. 2 of them are going to check T, and the third is going to be fuel less than, I don't know, 200 or something. I think we actually fire this thing out and test it, and yeah, figure out exactly what these limits want to be, because the idea is we're going to have this less than, say, 3600, which I believe is 10 minutes worth of ticks, which, and then or having t greater than yeah, this is the bit we don't really know about, that we're kind of guessing. Okay, so here is the plan with this. We're going to head towards the planet, Shattered Planet, for some amount of time. This is going to be 60,000 ticks worth of stuff, which I think is about the right distance, but we'll just keep an eye on it and see how we're performing. And then when we are between 33 and 70, and yeah, more than 70,000 ticks. There's actually, this number here needs to come up, doesn't it? Because we just said 60,000 ticks. We want this to be probably closer to 90,000 ticks. Yeah, so 60,000 ticks is sort of as far as we're going into the Shattered Planet, and before and after that we'll go at full speed, but when we are at that, what we are considering our maximum range, we're going to throttle the fuel via this pump. So hopefully all of that works. Coming up on the Shattered Planet transition, we are now heading towards the Shattered Planet, and nothing should have changed yet in theory. Let's go check what the combinators are doing. We are still, this is just usual tank level, isn't it? We are outputting the green signal, so we are pumping, and we are counting the number of ticks we are into heading towards Shattered Planet. So now we just keep an eye on it, and yeah, check that these limits are good, check that we can run it backwards and forwards. Also wonder how much we're slowing down when we do go down to 200. Maybe we should yeah, maybe we should test how much we're going to slow down first, but also maybe we don't, maybe we just YOLO through it. I think even this 60,000 kilometers is far enough to be in what we should consider promethium collecting range. So what even did we set the 9.8? Okay, so if we're going to say if this is less than 10,000 ticks, because we are coming up in 10,000 now. If the entire journey, if we're spending 1,000 seconds on the way out, that means we're probably also spending 1,000 seconds on the way back, which means we've got, what, 100, and basically I'm talking myself into saying that this combinator here should be, yeah, full speed for the first 10,000 and the last 10,000. And this also means we are spending a large amount of time in the middle, which is, I mean, I guess this is also fine because we are going more slowly. I think we're going to have to keep an eye on how quickly we are trying to push our face through these rocks as well. Reasons why testing is important. I think this time that we are checking is actually only checking every 2 ticks because of the way we've passed the combinator wires between themselves. So I don't think we want this to be so big at all, because we are how far into this journey? We are nearly halfway through this journey. And so even if we're going 10,000 seconds out, 10,000 seconds back, that lines up more with what I was kind of experiencing with this limit, not, yeah, the rate at which this limit arrived. So I think we want to pull this back to maybe, if we're already at 23, because it does also look like all our grabbers are busy grabbing, and to the extent that we're interested in collecting the promethium, we don't need to get far out, we just need to be in a position where the grabbers are, like if we're grabber limited, it doesn't matter how far we go or how fast we push, we're just still grabber limited, and so more time in this range would be better. we have turned around. This seems like a decent place. I mean, there's a lot of rocks to punch through. Sure, we're doing what we can. What kind of tick ranges are we at this point? 43,000? Yeah. So if we're spending, say, 80 ticks in total, and I think we want to round the second one up. I think if the first 10,000 ticks are fast, the last 10,000 also want to be fast, which means I think if we say if this is 80... I'm also not seeing any damage on any of these railguns, which is good because that's one of the things we were concerned about last time. I think we can just, have this thing run and go backwards and forwards and slow itself down when it's further away, and otherwise just punch a bunch of rocks. This has been the sort of episode where we've taken a bunch of time and clipped a bunch of stuff out. We've visited all the walls in the background. They're all safe now. Some of them are still complaining about not having repair packs. That's fine. They've all got a ton of bots, a ton of wall. Whatever. Actually, the other thing I wanted to do is, set Guantanamo Biter Nursery back to shipping the eggs back to the base. Actually, these two want to go away. Shipping them back to the base to turn into promethium science, because I think that could be valuable, and I don't think we need a whole lot of modules. And I think Mindtech is on the way back now. Yeah, we're less than 50,000 K away, which is maybe not even good collection range. I think we want to look at whatever this counter is at the moment. 75. We're going to call this 72 because we don't need to go that slowly. And these are kind of half-tick things, which also makes sense when I was looking at how these were first incrementing. It did seem, in retrospect, a little slow, but also having had eyes on this, a bunch of time we've clipped out. Probably we are safe-ish now, and we eventually decided that we could travel for 1,500 seconds towards the shattered planet, and then the ratio of this thing is interesting because it suggests that we've got whatever units of time these are. It might be 30ths of a second. We've got 10,000 of them on either end when we are going air quotes fast, but the speeds are different heading towards and away from a thing. So having one run where we paid close attention to this and figure out what these numbers should be seems like it would be pretty good. But also then, 62,000 units in the middle in slow collection mode, which is a pretty good ratio of time spent out here, I guess. And this is still running again. This is just pumping now, although interestingly, we are just pumping on... it's now the construction speed of this fuel, which is also a thing that is completely fine. And I think we might want to end up just bringing it back to Novice. I think it got some other biter eggs in between before it left, because it strikes me that this Promethium Science Pack, we have a ×3 multiplier for the rarity, we have another ×4 for biolabs and productivity, which means if the tick we're looking at is this guy, research productivity, we only need about 400 Promethium science of the kind we're making it in the labs we're putting it in to be able to get this done. So that would be super cool, but also I think that this is not going to be a huge deal overall, because I think this is just going to this is going to stack with the lab, the productivity modules in the biolab. So instead of getting 10% more science, we will get much less than that because we're already on 100% productivity. But I think that's still going to be somewhat helpful. Other things we noticed around the place, Fulgora got some more module upgrades because we were doing all that kind of stuff. I did notice that, I don't know if this is still going to be the case. This is no longer the case, but we're going to fix it anyway. There were some problems with trying to get as much water as we could, which is now hilariously fully fixed. And so we were going to connect this water system. I guess we fixed it when we upgraded and remoduled both of these guys. But we're bringing this water down here. We've got this other main water system in here, which is doing this bit of the power plant. But this is the bit we have added, and we are going to connect these two water systems so that we continue to get batteries. The thing is, we kind of already had batteries, so I'm not sure this is going to do anything, but our 2 water systems are connected now. That's great. And this is not trashing everything we needed it to, so I think we just do this without the circuit conditions, because anything on this side we want to trash anyway. And then something like this, whatever, sure. And then I did also notice, yeah, we're not pulling as many green chips as we could be. Can we fit just another green chips thing out here? Because there's a lot of green chips going past. I think some of them are of the quality we want. The quality ones we're just getting too many of, but I don't know if this one fast inserter is keeping up with the... yeah, is getting us all the green chips we want. Although, weren't we also putting green chips in the network over here? We were, but all the common quality green chips are still just disappearing. Wild. Maybe we do actually... I don't want to be manufacturing more green chips. I just want to... Wait, why are you kicking out green chips? I guess if there wasn't LDS and then you guys grabbed blue chips, maybe we should actually circuit condition all this stuff so it only... oh, and now... also now, because you've had some blue chips, we have, yeah, mode locked what's on that inserter to the other trash function. Okay, so... yeah, we're just going to do all of this slightly more carefully. Yeah, because if we get... okay, all of these have gone back now because, yeah, as long as there was one blue chip in this recycler already, these other inserters could continue grabbing the other blue chips. That would be why we suddenly needed more of this stuff on the other side. Oh well. So yeah, all of that is a function we're trying to get rid of stuff anyway, and we're still not having any surplus of green chips. Wild. Mindtech, we are sending you back to Aquilo. I think we... how many rocks did we get? Quite a few, yeah. For reasons described, we just want to go novice, passenger present, just do that. But I also, at this point, would like to check that this counter has stopped. Yeah, t equals 1. This little loop of only doing this counter increment when we are heading to or from the Shattered Planet means that this is, yeah, just not counting anymore. We'll stop, we'll restart again, which also means that pump is just fully on. Okay, cool, fine. I mean, let's briefly check in with Gleba. Recent patches have meant that terrain absorption is a bigger thing, so we're actually not polluting anything at the moment, and it's just fine. As we said, things are looking pretty fine. I guess the other thing we get ready for, I mean, this is still quite the pollution cloud on Navus, even though it's not really doing much, is, yeah, these guys in here. If we can remove these guys and or tap them for more eggs and or just put the, yeah, somewhere where we're not doing quite so much pollution so that we are getting even more terrain absorption, especially from those forests. And I think that what that means is we want to think about how we're going to make some, where are they, Spidertrons, of which we have some of the parts, but not all of the parts. Exoskeletons, radar... do we actually have radar turrets? The rocket turrets still at rare quality, or whether we trashed them all. We've got 70. So we can, in fact, build the Spidertrons at rare quality, which seems like it's fine. I guess Fulgora can contribute a whole lot of low-density structure on blue chips and things like that, because we've got that sitting around. But also we've got... legs, a bunch of legs, 60 legs, that's fine. We've got, yeah, the shield equipment. We've got somewhere a bunch of, where are these things? Here, 60 laser turrets. So we've got some of the stuff lined up already. Why have we... why are we not doing anything? Oh, because we also added... we were going to use this as the venting property for several qualities of things, and we did not add the quality, and then it just jammed up with the quality. Okay, so now we are processing LDS and blue chips of any quality, which is fine, although it will affect the number of green chips we're getting out. That could be an issue. Cool, we're not going to worry about it. Let's look at what it takes to make our fusion reactors. And by that I mean fission reactors, but I also don't. I also mean fusion reactors, because I believe with, yeah, blue chips we can have at rare quality, LDS we can have at rare quality, all of that's going to be pretty straightforward. Uranium fuel cells, can we make uranium fuel cells at rare quality? We will need rare steel, well, rare iron plate, super easy, and then we will need rare uranium and rare depleted uranium. Okay, so the interesting thing about the rare depleted uranium is we are coverexing all this stuff together, and we've actually completely run out the depleted uranium supply, which is fine. Down here we've got a box of... oh, we've actually got... yeah, we used to be mining the uranium here, which is why all of this stuff is here, and we had quality modules in it at some point. We have 655. How many... 5... so this is enough for 30... uranium fuel. Okay, 30 cycles of uranium fuel cells, which is 300 uranium fuel cells, except we can also prod mod this, so I am no longer concerned about the depleted stuff. I was wondering if we were going to have to recycle trash the rest of it as well, but somewhere in here we should have yeah, we've got this rare uranium we were using for the biolab upgrades. Oh, have we had some eggs turn up? We have. That's very exciting. Minetech is still, yeah, on the way. They'll be here in a... yeah, we don't need to worry about that. Okay, how were we upgrading? We've got epic uranium. Getting the radars at rare, probably going to be fine. The exos... oh yeah, let's figure out... that's what we were going to do. I was going to figure out how to get fish here, and I think the way we get fish here is we start off by recycling, well, by requesting 400 regular bioflux, because we are already bringing it into... we're already bringing it into the hub. This hub has so much just random junk that we don't necessarily need right now. We've still got regular... why do we have regular quality things in here? I think I might... yeah, we did also upgrade this assembler because it looked like we could get away with it, and maybe we can. We also upgraded... yeah, assembler electromag. We also upgraded the... what, electrolyte solution electromag, because we did look like we were struggling for electrolyte at one point, and I was just wondering whether or not the science is doing a thing now, and maybe it is. If we... let's look at the last hour and see if we can find the uncommon science, and we are at 323, which is, yeah, not what we wanted to be doing, but is... if we can say, yeah, probably we should be looking at this 184 level. This is still, what, 300, which is, yeah, less than a yellow belt. We are not manufacturing... okay, this is only one quality, though. There are also other qualities which are, yeah, a lot further down this chart. We are not doing everything we really need to, so sucks to be that. It wasn't very many biter eggs, it was like 50 or so, but we'll still just kick these into the science as well, and maybe we get enough to finish a tech. But before that happens, yeah, we're still just sitting here until, yeah, we're just still just sitting here until we are done with this. We might leave it here a while and see if we can work through some of these and get some research out of them. That would be nice. The rest of the, oh yeah, the fish plan. Like, we've got these biochambers, we've had these biochambers for ages, and yeah, we can use them to convert nutrients to spoilage. We don't actually want this bioflux to do anything with it in the initial, yeah, we just want some of it to go off, and that's going to take okay, we are going to be trashing some of this stuff. I'm not going to wait around an hour and a half for this to go off. But I'm pretty sure somewhere there is a fish to nutrients, fish breeding. So if we can get, yeah, a lot of nutrients. We actually need a lot of nutrients out. This is going to be pulling things in from. We're going to be pulling in a lot of bioflux to make all these nutrients. Yeah, and then I don't think we bother making the fish into nutrients. I think we just use the bioflux into nutrients because that's a whole lot better. And then somewhere we will have these quality modules. I don't know, whatever. Fish breeding. Fish breeding. And yeah, think about it. We'll think about a build that is gonna make this happen. Interesting. Okay, so quality moduling fish breeding is not the way we get quality fish. These fish we will save from this polluted water. Yeah, we're going to ask for these fish down here as well. We're going to grab the fish, and then also, actually, the other thing that's pretty important is these recyclers are currently trying to trash all of the spoilage we're going to get. And so I think we just get rid of these No, we can't do that, can we? We're still going to... We actually have to get rid of this thing, and we'll just put it back later after we've done the spoilage shenanigans we want to. But yeah, I think we recycle a bunch of these, and this should give us back... Gives us back bioflux. Do we actually have to let the bioflux go off? I was hoping that it would be... Yeah, the recycler says organic things can be garbaged, but... Oh yeah, because we're already quality upgrading this, aren't we? Okay. I guess we need to wait for... This does mean that we can just put the quality in here and grab the fish and be quality upgrading the fish, which is cool, but we also need to import spoilage from Gleba, because I don't think nutrients are going to make it. Where is spoilage? Okay, epic spoilage it is, I guess. Rocket capacity 2000? Yeah, okay, so we're still going to need to do a custom payload for like 600, and we're going to be using the epic quality spoilage because that's what Gleba happens to have sitting around wild. Okay, fine. This research productivity, I believe we should have enough stuff to get this done now, right? Oh, it's going pretty fast, actually. If we have all the science, we'll know about it. Okay, let's think about this fish breeding. It's actually super straightforward, isn't it? It's just like a belt in, and then dudes in and out, and it's straight up just water, and we put the nutrients in, and we get the fish out, and then it's going to be very similar to a Covarex loop. I haven't decided where we're putting this yet, because we are going to want something like... how many of these do we need? There we go, we got an achievement. We actually had enough technology to do all the Prometheium research thing, which is super cool. Oh yeah, let's check the labs, because I suspect they are now at 110% productivity, which is super cool, but also it's a 5% bump. It's not the 10% bump it might have been. Yeah, I think we come up with a build for this fish. I think we leave the episode here. I think we're pretty good. I think we are, yeah, basically going to assemble all the stuff to start making Spiderons, because there's going to be some boring logistics with that as well. Okay, we've already kind of missed it. Mindtech made those eggs into science, dropped it back down. That's all cool. I think we're done with eggs now. Oh, we've got a couple of extra biter eggs. Because this recipe takes 10. Super interesting. What happens if we just try and clear these? We happen to have an exact multiple of 10 eggs, so the other... Yeah, the other cryoplant got it. We now have no eggs sitting around, so as long as we can get multiples of 10 eggs, that's fine. Okay, I still don't think we're making eggs at the rate that we need to, so we're just going to go and do this loop again, grab a bunch more rocks. Highly successful episode. Need to go and start organizing things for Spidertrons. Yeah, this is exactly the stuff we need for Spidertrons. We're going to be fine. How about you come to Navis so we can, yeah, drop this stuff and then have some fun with it later.